Okay, so welcome to the Fresh Start Group training webinar. This one is called Build Your Business. Right, sorry guys, I'm trying to work out how to move on to the next screen. Here we go. Right, sorry, so this is the number 6 out of our circle of 8 Kleeneze webinars called the Kleeneze Circle of Success. As you can see, the first couple are just about getting started. You then go on to building that customer base, doing a bit of team building, and then what's next? After you've learnt all of those things, the next 3 sections are really about those skills that you need to work on once you've learned how to do the basics of the business. So what does this particular one cover? Well, we talk about the fact that Kleeneze has been around for a while now, and there's no reason that you need to reinvent the wheel. Just follow the system that works very well. There's some essential understanding that's useful to have, not useful but essential, and to really help your business grow. And we're going to get started on personal development. This is a big part of Kleeneze, and every successful Kleeneze distributor spends a large amount of their time developing themselves as a person, and I'll expand on that a bit more as well. So we're going to do a little bit of recommended reading. But first, I just really want to talk a bit about this concept of the system, the Kleeneze system that we follow. Just a quick example, when you're at school, copying is cheating. You know, if you're ever caught copying someone else's answers from a paper, then you're obviously not being a very good boy. But at Kleeneze, it's the route to success. What we're saying is find somebody who is successful and copy what they're doing. And what is that system that you should copy? Well, basically, you've been learning it while we've been doing these webinars. The 8 webinars define the system, and if you follow that system and implement all of the lessons that you're learning, then you can't do anything other than be successful, because that's what all of the successful Kleeneze distributors have done in the past. So, as we've seen there, Kleeneze has been in its current form for about 20 years. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, but adding new ideas is good. It's always great to be creative and to be able to add new ideas. Hi Eddie, good to see you again. Sorry mate, we just started a couple of minutes ago, but you haven't missed much. And basically, the best advice I can give you is to find someone who is successful and copy what they're doing. So that could be your upline, it could be their upline, or it could just be successful people that you meet at some of the training meetings. Some of the most inspiring people might be cross-line from you, that you learn hints and tips from them that will really motivate you, and they can not be in your upline at all, but just find somebody who's successful and copy what they're doing. What kind of things are essential to help you with this? Well, it's a couple of things that I'm just going to recommend. So, 2 good books, excellent books, about network marketing. Kleeneze is a network marketing business, and it's really important to understand the concepts behind them all. So there's a short book by Don Failer called The 45-Second Presentation, and there's a brilliant CD which I really like. It's kind of just 40-45 minutes, maybe an hour at the most. I've listened to it so many times, and I still find it really inspiring. So I'd certainly recommend it to everybody. That's Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. Excuse me. So what else is essential? Well, you kind of need to know the Kleeneze pay plan, which is how do you get paid with Kleeneze? And it's useful to kind of know a couple of steps ahead of you. The Kleeneze pay plan is enormous. It starts off from everybody gets their 21% commission. And then you get your volume bonuses as you kind of start to grow your own orders, or you get team members that grow your bonuses for you up through 10%, 13%, all the way up to 24% when you become a gold distributor. and then there's senior, bronze executive, and all the way up to senior executive, platinum executive, premiers, principals. There's a huge pay plan that you can go through. You don't really need to understand how you get all the way from your 21% commission right the way up to sort of principal distributor, but it's useful to kind of know a couple of steps ahead. So if you're not sure at the moment how you get to your next couple of steps, speak to your upline or speak to me and I'll explain that to you. And a really important bit of understanding is the fact that our business really is a numbers game. Depending on where you are and what you're focusing on at the moment, there's a very simple relationship between the more catalogues you put out, the more customers you'll find, and the bigger your income will be. Equally, excuse me, the more leads you find, if you're looking for team building, the more team members you will find, and again, the more income you will have. And the Jim Rohn CD that I've mentioned up there really talks about that a lot. So just kind of reinforcing that, I think that's an excellent one to get started, to start you on your personal development journey. And on that subject, personal development, I heard this a year or so ago, and it's just so true. If you only do what you know you should do, you can achieve anything. So if you've been in Kleeneze for a little while and you've sort of been through these webinars, you know how to put your catalogues out, you know how to sort of put an order in. If you're looking at team building, you know how to generate a lead, you know how to present the business to that lead, and you know how to sign them up if they decide they want to join. That's all you need to know to be successful in Kleeneze. So if you know that you just need to put your 250 catalogues out, or generate your 5 leads every day, or 10 leads a day, however many you're wanting to do, if you only do what you know you should do, you can achieve anything. So I think that's a really simple way of putting that across. Another good phrase that I heard a lot, which is kind of reinforcing the reasons behind personal development. Jim Rohn said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So if you're putting lots and lots of effort into whatever your job might be, and that could be putting Kleeneze catalogues out, or it could be, you know, working down the pits, or on the shipbuilder's yard, or where, you know, whatever, in the office typing away on your spreadsheets. If you work harder on yourself and you develop yourself, you will be constantly improving yourself and improving your quality of life as a result of all that work you do. So become a sponge for information. I'm a big believer in you don't stop learning when you leave school. You can keep learning forever and ever and ever as long as you're willing to. And so plug into this whole personal development life cycle, I suppose you could call it. I think it's really the most valuable skill set out of all of the things you'll learn with Kleeneze. If you can develop a philosophy of constantly developing yourself, then you will be amazed at the transformation. So just, you know, find the way that works best for you. Reading, some people are really good at reading books. They'll sort of, you know, read books from cover to cover. I know for me, I kind of find reading is quite hard work. You know, I would kind of read 2 or 3 pages and then I kind of find myself not concentrating. Some people like watching things. There's so many good videos on YouTube that you can find now. Listening to CDs, that's kind of one of my favourites. I always have loads of CDs in the car. Pretty much every good personal development book is also an audio CD, so you can kind of listen to them as well. And in webinar 8 in this series, I kind of cover a lot of the different personal development stuff in a bit more detail, so we'll come back to that a little bit later. Well, specifically in webinar 8. So, and the last thing that I would recommend is going to as many of the meetings as you possibly can. Your local meetings, the regional millionaires meetings, the national conferences. You never know when you're going to hear or find your next golden nugget. I've been to meetings and you're kind of listening to things and you're sort of thinking, oh yeah, I kind of heard this before, and yeah, that's reinforced some things, that's quite good. And you meet some, you know, inspiring people while you're there. And then all of a sudden somebody says something and it makes you just think about something in a slightly different way, and you sort of think, God, you know what? I'd never thought of it like that. And it just kind of inspires you to change the way you're doing something, or to add something to the way you're doing it. And that golden nugget can just, transform your business over the next few weeks and months. And the places where you find those nuggets are often at the meetings, when you're listening to people explaining what they did and how they changed things and what their story and so on. So meetings are a fantastic source of inspiration and motivation, so make sure you go to as many of those as you can. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of these in detail. There's a big list here, and I'll sort of recording all of this so you can come back to this as you need to, of really good books and listings. So the 45-second presentation I mentioned earlier. There's Ed Ludbrook is an author, a well-known author on network marketing, as is Jan Rue. So have a little look through some of those books. The ones in blue there that I've highlighted are my personal favourites, and I'm just going to expand on those a little bit in a moment. But any of these books that you can see here are all recommended, great books, and will just really help you kind of expand your thoughts on where you're going with this business. So just to go through those a little bit, I mentioned this earlier, the Jim Rohn CD, Building Your Network Marketing Business. So he talks about some philosophies on network marketing, why network marketing works, how to think about it to motivate yourself to achieve as much as you want out of our network marketing business. Most of these books I'm talking about, in fact I think pretty much all of them, are not Kleeneze specific. They'll be about network marketing or just about developing yourself. There are some Kleeneze specific books, often written by successful distributors. So Gavin has one, Peter Rhee has just brought one out quite recently. So they're all really good books because they're targeted specifically at Kleeneze distributors. But this one here, the Jim Rohn CD, that's my first and favourite one, so I certainly would recommend getting that. Another one by Jim Rohn is a slightly bigger book, and I'm not sure if I've seen this on a CD, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. And it really just gives you an idea for how to go about setting some goals for in achieving an improvement in the quality of your life. And it also talks about investment, sort of ways to think about how you invest the money that hopefully you're earning from your business, and some great life philosophies, which just I think a lot of these things will stand you in good stead whether you're in Kleeneze for another month or another decade. They're just really great kind of approaches to life in general. Okay, a couple of other books. These two are very similar. I've read them both, enjoyed them both, but when I kind of sat back and thought about them, I thought actually they're kind of telling the same story. So The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson and The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Excuse me. Basically what these books are both saying is that it's not the big decisions that make you successful, it's the little ones that you make every day. As an example here, you could have a look at, I think the example I heard was a guy who's sort of thinking about his weight, and he knows that every day for breakfast he can have a donut or he can have an apple. So one day maybe he eats the apple and he sort of thinks, actually don't really feel any different, don't feel super fit, not feeling kind of fantastic all of a sudden. So maybe the next day he has a donut and he sort of says, well, that was alright, tasted much better, I haven't put on any weight, don't feel any worse, that's great. So he eats another donut, and the next day it's another donut, and the next day it's another donut. And as you can see, what happens if you look at the two graphs here, for weeks and days and weeks and months, you maybe hardly notice the difference, but all of a sudden the result of eating those apples every day, the vitamins and the healthy fibre and everything that you're getting, will give you massive whatever successes you want in improvements in your health. And eating the donut every day will basically put weight on, give you sugar rushes, make you feel ill, all those sorts of things. The difference between the two is huge after you've been in the business for a while, but doing whatever it is you want to do. But when you first start off, you hardly notice the difference. So that's what these books are about. It's about the compound effect of making these small decisions every day. Hi Gulshan, nice to see you. We've kind of been through the video a little bit, but I am recording this, and I'll catch up with you when we're finished, just to kind of explain a little bit about what we've been over, and then you could kind of watch the recording either later on today or tomorrow once I'll put it up on YouTube and on our website. Okay. So those two, sorry, just go back there a moment. Those two very similar books. I would say get one if you like it and you can kind of feel that you're getting some benefit from it, and you just want to have a slightly different way of hearing the same kind of principle. Then try the other one, because they're both worthwhile. Okay, this is another book which I really enjoyed. It's and quite an old book now, probably 60, 70, 80 years old. Written by a chap called Dale Carnegie. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Not the kind of title that just slips off the tongue, but it's a really good book. It's the gist of it is basically be nice to people, take an interest in them, and it's amazing what you get in return. You know, if you're kind of trying to I don't know, get to know somebody. I mean, the examples they talk about are a lot. They're like salesmen trying to earn business in the kind of 40s, 50s, 60s America, when you would go around, make an appointment to see the managing director of a company and try and sell them something. And basically what he's saying is, you know, if you went round and took an interest in that person and sort of shared something that you had in common, and then just sort of said as you were leaving, oh, and okay, here's our products that I hope you might be able to help you. Because that person likes you already, you know, they're 90% of the way to kind of wanting to help you out, because you kind of help them and take an interest in them. So all sorts of useful stuff in there that you can use in all aspects of your life. So definitely worth having a look at that one as well. The next one I want to talk about, and this is a one that I really enjoyed, but I think it's kind of, you have to be this sort of particular kind of person to enjoy this one, but certainly I'll explain what it is. It's called Design Your Best Year Ever by Darren Hardy. And basically what it says is, a lot of people at the start of the new year sort of say, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution to you know, lose a lot of weight, or, you know, let's say I'm going to, you know, add £1,000 to my Kleeneze check. And they sort of think, okay, now I'm going to have to work really hard. But they kind of don't get from setting that idea, that dream, the goal, to actually, how do you actually achieve it? And what this book is about, it's about setting your goals and then breaking them down into smaller chunks, so that you might have a 6-month goal. You know, in 6 months' time, I want to have earned enough money to qualify, or build up enough of a business to qualify for the next Kleeneze International Conference. So if you know what you need to do to get that, let's say you know you need to get to gold, breaking that down into monthly chunks, and then weekly nuggets, if you like, and then daily steps. Suddenly, if you've got a daily step, okay, each day I need to do, let's say, put out 200 catalogues, and I need to speak to 5 people about the business, because I want to do you know, sort of start the team building side. Doing that, if you set yourself a daily task of putting out 200 books, you can probably do that. You know, it might take you a few hours, a bit more than you were hoping to spend, but, you know, it seems a lot easier to do that and break it down into these small chunks than thinking, okay, I need to get to gold. And if you're only just starting in the business, you know, hitting £9,000 worth of orders in a month, in 28 days, can seem a big chunk. So whatever your goal might be, whether it's a Kleeneze goal or a lifestyle goal or a health goal, this book really helps you break it down into small chunks and then track your progress through that. So if you're the kind of person that really that kind of structured approach to achieving things works for, then I think you'll find this book really useful. Okay, I don't know if anyone's heard this phrase that I mentioned earlier from Jim Rohn. Can you remember what I said? Work harder on yourself than you do on your... Gulshan, you weren't here when I went through that. Eddie, can you remember what I said? Job. Excellent. Obviously paying attention, Eddie. Yeah, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. It's so easy just to kind of focus on the day-to-day bits of your job. and forget about improving yourself. So that's definitely a good thing to do. And just briefly, Eddie and Gulshan, I know Gulshan, sorry, you came in halfway through that. Were there any of those books, Eddie, that you've read and that you'd recommend, or was there any that particularly appealed to you that you think you might go and hunt down now? Ah, fantastic, mate. Well, I'm obviously preaching to the converted here. Gulshan, I'll speak to you when we finish this, just kind of recap over what I was just saying there. But good, pleased to hear that, Eddie. Okay, that's basically the end of this webinar. As you can see here, we've been kind of over the first 5, 6 there. Next week, we're kind of expanding on the personal development side by looking at goals and attitude. One of the funny things you'll find about Kleeneze quite a lot is everybody who starts Kleeneze starts off pretty much the same. We all have our 250 catalogues. You know, we've all got sort of a pair of shoes to go walking in, and maybe a trolley or a shoulder bag to carry them in. But some people will be successful and some people won't. And it's interesting to try and work out why is that. Why would different people have different levels of success when we all start off with exactly the same kit? So that's what we're kind of talking about next week. I'm just going to stop the recording now because we've come to the end of this.